In business, there are certain things you can do that affect everything else in the business. From marketing to sales to client work. With these two simple traits I'm going to share with you today, you will feel a lot stronger, you will make more money, and you'll grow a lot better. So I dare even say these two traits are the only thing you need to grow a super successful business. So, several years ago, when I first got into self improvement and personal development, there are a lot of traits and themes there that are also very prevalent in business. One of these traits is consistency. And that's the first trait I want to talk about with you today. This is a crucial trait in any area of life and especially in business. When I first learned about this several years ago, before that, I was always I might feel motivated to do something one day, but then something happens. I no longer want to do it and I move into another direction. But the problem is, I never build that consistency. I never really stick with anything, so I can never build skill and never really become proficient at something. That's why you need the consistency. This is a problem for many people in life because they have the same problem. They move in some direction, but then they get some setback and they can't deal with it. And they can't keep going. They do something else. They drift off. They keep spinning. And they never really get anywhere. If you look at high performers in life, almost any high performer is someone who has learned to be very, very consistent and very determined. They learn to really stick with something and just never give up. Of course, there might be some exceptions that might be just really talented, but they are, those are exceptions. That's not the rule. So we must learn from these high performers if you want to be successful in business. So start tracking your habits. Start building momentum in doing something every day, every week, every month, without exception. You will start noticing that the more you do something, the more it becomes a habit and the easier it becomes. Now, the real challenge is always when something happens, when you have some setback, because that's usually when people decide to quit or they no longer want to keep going. So the challenge is to learn to deal with those situations, to learn to deal with the frustration, the stress, the anxiety that might come up when you lose a deal, when you have an annoying client, when you have a lawsuit, when you fail a business, when something doesn't go your way, when someone is rude to you or someone just betrayed you. These are very unfortunate things in life, but if we don't learn to deal with them, and if we let those emotions affect us, you're not going to be at your full potential. You're going to have a setback. You might even quit. You're not going to keep going. So the real challenge is to be in those dirty, nasty situations. You need to learn to stay grounded and make good decisions for yourself. That's really where the challenge is. This is something that's also very prevalent in sales because whenever, especially as beginning salespeople, we're so swayed by our emotions. Whenever you have a good deal, you might feel really emboldened, but you might become overconfident. And then whenever you lose a deal or you didn't get the results for the clients that you wanted, you lose confidence, you get frustrated, you lose hope, and you're no longer able to convince people. So also, especially in sales, it's important that you learn you still have the emotions, but you're less learn to be less swayed by your emotions so that you can make more grounded and better decisions in the moment. Learn to take a step back from your anxiety, from your frustration, and understand that yes, it might be difficult now. It might be, you might feel really emboldened or you might feel really anxious, but understand that this is the crucial moment for you. If you don't make good decisions here, you're not just ruining the moment, you're also ruining everything you've built up before that. If you because you might choose to quit or you might no longer want to keep going. So learn to just process those emotions or be less attached to those emotions so that you can make more grounded decisions, become more consistent, keep doing things, learning skills, keep growing day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And the progress you can make will be very significant. The second trait that's extremely important in business is positivity. I'm saying this as someone who used to be, who dealt with a lot of sadness and anger and frustration in my life, someone who is prone to negativity. But especially if you want to be successful in business, you need to learn to force yourself to be positive, to force yourself to get rid of the negativity, get rid of the limiting beliefs. Stop thinking that you are a victim. And in any situation, sometimes it might not even be your fault, but learn to take control. If you let all these things get to you, if you are, whenever you're feeling sad or someone said something to you or something happened in your life and you're feeling those emotions, and if you keep pondering on those things, what's the use of that? What's going to happen if you keep pondering on that? You're going to feel more sad, you're going to feel more depressed. What is it going to give you? It's not going to give you anything. It's not going to do anything if you just sit there and you might be, in a way you might be justified because something bad might have happened, but my point is that you have a choice. You can either sit there and ruminate on your sadness and become more sad and more frustrated at everything and anyone, or maybe you can process those emotions, but you have a choice to be aware that that's not a good direction for you, and that you can actually choose to be more objective and more positive. Learn to try and take control of things, take steps towards the right direction, build upon yourself, build yourself up, become stronger, become more skilled, become more successful. And now, whenever this situation happens again, it might not even get to you anymore. You might just become stronger and more positive, and whenever something happens like that, you're no longer touched by it again. And that's really key if you want to become great at anything, and especially in business. It's positivity and learning, again, not to be swayed by your emotions, but learning to have a good mindset, getting rid of the limiting beliefs that you're not good enough, or maybe you think you can't talk to that person, or that person might be worth more than you. But it's all in your head. It's all just in your head. If you get rid of that mindset, there might be tension. There will be tension, I can promise you that. But if you can overcome that, you'll realize that I'm speaking the truth. This is where inner confidence comes from. And it's not just about inner confidence. It's again about positivity and learning, whenever something happens, to be more detached from it and taking steps in the right direction. And this is key because In business, you will have so much shit that's just thrown at you, and it's the game of business. The game of business is to learn to deal with that, to say, fuck off. I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to be bothered by this. I'm learning to take good decisions. I'm learning to build upon myself. I'm learning to be strong. I can deal with this now, take control of situations, and always keep your mindset positive and productive. Whenever something happens that's negative and you catch yourself that you're being negative, throw it away. It's not useful. Be positive, be productive. Sure, maybe someone hurt you. Sure, maybe that person, maybe you need to take a break from that person. Maybe you, I don't know, maybe you need to say fuck off to that person, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but make good decisions. Make decisions that you can respect yourself, that you can start moving in the right direction, and that you can just become stronger and get rid of all your limiting beliefs and just become really able to make grounded decisions in almost any moment. When you can do that, your sales, you'll be able to talk to anyone, to any CEO or any executive. You will be able to ask for more. You will feel like you're worth more because you're able to deal with those situations now. And this is key in business, because you will have so much things thrown at you and you need to learn to overcome them. So stay positive, make the right decisions, and keep moving forward and upward. So as I'm speaking to you, I hope that you see some truth in some of the things that I say, and that you start applying some of these things and start improving in these areas. You'll be better off. You'll notice that it might take some time, but things, if you are consistent, you will start developing more skills. You'll stay determined, so you'll stick with something longer. You might even become more motivated as a side effect of just being disciplined. If you are more positive, you'll learn how to deal with resistance better. When something happens, you'll be able to deal with it. You'll just feel better. You'll be more enthusiastic, more charismatic when you're speaking to people. You'll be able to convince them more. So these are all great things that will come to you. But it will also, you must understand, it will come with a lot of challenges as well. And it might be difficult at some times. If you're practicing to stay consistent, like, it's a fine balance, because part of it is about willpower and just choosing to keep going. But part of it is also about being aware of that you need to stay consistent, not just now, but in the long term. So it's about balancing your energy and managing your willpower, not just across 1 week or 1 month, but across a year or multiple years. So it's about a lot of things, and it's about willpower. It's about managing your energy. It's even about alignment, making sure that where you're going is where you really want to be. It's a lot of things that you just need to learn, but you also just need to stay strong. And it can be very, very difficult sometimes. You know, personally, I failed many times on like habits, and then I had like a good streak, and then I gave up, and then I get really, really frustrated when that's something like that happens, because I really wanted to stick with something, but then I cheated on myself, and that feels really horrible when it happens. There are probably people that are a lot better at this than me, and I hope you will be. But I can say, like, even if you fail a lot in this process, as long as you keep moving forward, you'll at least get better and you'll get stronger and you'll learn to be more consistent. And you'll learn from your mistakes. You'll learn how to manage yourself better. And you'll just develop these traits as long as you keep trying and as long as you keep moving forward. If you do that, you'll keep growing, you'll become more successful, not just in business, but also in life. You'll become a better leader, you'll make more money, you'll become a person that you didn't even know you were capable of becoming. You'll just be a very strong and positive human being and a really consistent motherfucker. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my next video on sales, where I teach you more about strategies on closing and communication. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!